There's been a huge move forward on the dialogue around ageism. So when I started Silver Sirens 7 years ago, ageism was not a topic we talked much about, but nowadays you can find some wonderful organizations all around the country and globally that are tackling this issue of ageism and having really robust discussions around its impact on men and women. So when I first started, a lot of our focus was on how ageism impacted women in the workplace, or how we saw so few women over 50 in the media. There was a lot of conversations around that. But what we didn't talk about much was the internalized ageism, and this is an area that really fascinates me as a psychotherapist. Because what I see is the examples of internalized ageism, and it's so insidious. So a lot of times we don't even see that that's what's going on. So internalized ageism is an unconscious adaptation of the negative stereotypes about aging it's a kind of ingrained in society, that we've all been taken in for a very, very long time, and it influences how older people both see and feel about themselves. And an example of internalized ageism will be something like hiding or avoiding or hiding the visible signs of aging, like, hiding it, or hiding telling people about our age. If we are embarrassed about our age, that is an example of internalized ageism. If we don't want to show our wrinkles or our grey hair because that will give away our age, that's an example of internalized ageism. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. I'm as vain as the next woman, but when we want to hide any signs of aging because we've internalized that aging is bad or negative in some way, that is internalized ageism. One of the things I see is people don't want to be associated with old people, don't associate, or don't call me old. All of those things are examples of internalized aging, because we've internalized that it's negative to be old, so. And another one is, I think I like to talk about, is that self-criticism about aging, like feeling shame or embarrassed about getting older. Another thing that I see a lot that really kind of upsets me is watching the way that we police other women around aging. Being very critical about a woman's looks, like saying that she's let herself go, or if a woman is trying, saying things like mutton dressed as lamb. So really watching all of those, not only our internal dialogue around aging towards ourselves, but the way that we talk about other aging women around us. I can find that women can be very critical and not very forgiving about each other. And if we want change, if we really want change, awareness is key. We've got to first really be conscious about how we're talking to ourselves about our aging process and other women. Now, at Silver Sirens, we're so passionate about changing the negative stigma around women and aging, and I really strongly believe that the change begins with us. So this Ageism Awareness Day, I want you to be conscious about what are the ways that you've internalized ageism, and what are the ways that you perpetuate or contribute to this whole stigma around ageism.